Okay, so my daughter just interrupted me. I think I'm going to put a video up of that. I didn't mean to record it, but I actually did. So this in this installment, this episode, what the fuck am I going to call this episode? I guess it's an episode. I'm calling the show Point and Wave. That was one of my original thoughts to title it. And then I was like, oh no, it's too highfalutin, arrogant, blah, 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 blah. But then I'm like, oh no, I kind of like it. Part of my notion of doing this is that it's kind of like I'm pointing to things and I'm waving to the audience saying, hey, this is cool, point and wave. But I also like the idea of point and wave as like one dimension and two dimension. I like point and wave and the idea of as matter and energy. What the fuck does that have to do with your blog? Well, it has to do with kind of the way I think. I think very not just logically, but I think also very associatively, very abstractly, very creatively, and so that's kind of the notion behind point and wave. So what I'm going to do on today's episode, and I really don't like the term episode. I have to find something better to call this. What I'm doing today, if you notice, the camera's not fixed. It's in my hand. Whoa! It's in my hand, and I'm pointing it at myself. One of the things that when I was watching some of my videos that I've posted so far is it's really kind of cool. Is that I can actually do a really good job of keeping the camera on my face, which surprises the heck out of me. So that these kind of freehand camera things actually work pretty well. So what I wanted to do today that I spoke about possibly doing in my last episode is to do a little tour of my office. And kind of the reason this is I'm going to tour of his office. How exciting. My office is somewhat dysfunctional in that there's so much fucking cool stuff in it that I can't get anything done in here. Anything serious a lot of the time. So it's just part of the reason I'm doing this. I used to keep a journal. I still do. I have like 10 years worth of journals. As a matter of fact, the journals that I have are on the shelf down here. If we turn around, there's a whole bunch of journals right there, and those journals have about 10 or 15 years of me bitching and talking about different things. But I thought I'd talk about some of the cool things in this office. This office is just jam-packed with cool things, and right now it's pretty much a mess. One of the big things that I have in here is not one thing. It's like I have more than a dozen typewriters in here, antique typewriters, because I think they're really cool. In no particular order. Like this is an old Royal. I've got a Royal. There's an Oliver number 9 right here. It's kind of hanging out here. This one's almost done being restored. I'm restoring these to kind of a functional state rather than a pristine state. Some collectors, most like really heavy-duty, hardcore, serious collectors, they restore typewriters to their they want to restore them to the pristine condition. I'm not really doing that. This is an old Smith Brothers, and what's cool about this particular one, these are really cool. Old typewriters are fucking cool. They've got all kinds of really interesting things about them, and I think they're going to be even more interesting and collectible. The keys on this, if you don't know if you can just see that, the keys on this come off. As this is a teaching typewriter. That is, this is a typewriter where you would you would learn with the these little key tops on, and then when you started to type by touch, you would take the you could take the key tops off. Take the key tops off, and then you would type by touch. And this is that one's from the 20s. The Royal is from the 20s as well. That Oliver number 9 is from, I think, 1908 or so, 1908, 1909. This here, with a double keyboard, see, lowercase and uppercase. This is called a Smith Premier. I have a couple of double keyboard typewriters. Actually, I have 3. This one's from about 1900, I think. 1898 or 1900. And it is one of my favorites. Then we also have Big Mouth Millie Bass. I don't know if he's going to work for us today, though. His battery might be dead. Here's a little song I wrote Yep, he's not going to do much. Then I have an Underwood, which the decals are all screwed up on, but actually, and the carriage is behaving itself today, is in pretty good shape. Then I have 21st century typewriting telecommunications. That's my Wi-Fi based printer copier. This sucker over here is this is an upstrike typewriter. That's what you see, all that little basket. The keys come up from the bottom and strike the paper from underneath. And so when you're typing, you can't see what it is that you've typed until you lift it up and see that. So this is a Remington Standard. I think this is a number, I don't know what number this is. Any rate, it's really cool. I really like these. So that's a Remington Standard. And this one's almost in functional shape. He really just needs a little bit of oiling and a new ribbon. I'm about to splurge on ribbons. This bad boy over here, in a state of semi disassembly, is an Oliver number 3, and this is from like 1903, 1904. And I have another one over here that really is kind of for parts. One of them I'm going to part out into pieces, and the other one is going to be will be the new working well, not new, will be a restored working typewriter. Then I have over here, I have a this is the practical typewriter. This is, I can't remember what they call this. This is a simplex. That's right. It's a simplex typewriter. And basically you turn the wheel to the letter you want, and then you press down on it, and it's supposed to print onto the piece of paper that you put in there. This is the roller for it. This was a poor man's typewriter when these were made. One of the things I really like about it is the graphic is just on the front of it. It's just freaking awesome. And the stand's made of oak, and it's just really cool. One of my other favorites, which I actually ended up getting for free because they packed it so badly that it didn't do well. This is another, as you can see, another double keyboard. Uppercase. Look at the strikers. They're little because they only got one letter. They don't have two. Uppercase, lowercase. This is a Smith Premier from the same company that made the one over there, the upstrike over there, except this is a front strike and a double keyboard. Front strike is the style, if you know typewriters at all, it's the style that everybody went to after, I don't know, World War I, really. But this is one of the only, if not the only, double keyboard front strike typewriters ever made, so it's super cool. This I haven't started restoring. Part of the problem with it is when it got shipped, they packed it really badly, and it got fucked up, got really messed up. So I gotta do some. I'm gonna try and braze that back together. I got a brazing kit downstairs, and the paper feed thing got bent. It shouldn't look like that. It should look more like this. But you can see it's all crimped and beaten on over here. Sad. So those are the typewriters. Besides the typewriters, then I've got like endless like goofy, cool, nerdy stuff. This here is actually the thing that started the whole typewriter. This is a conversion kit to convert a typewriter to work on USB. So you could type on a typewriter, and then it would show up on your computer screen as letters. So you could type a letter and then also have it go right into the computer at the same time, which is really fucking cool, I think. This desk was a gift from my bestest friend and one of my best friends and an old girlfriend of mine, Karen Christie. It's like a little monk's desk. I love this desk. And then this here, oh, here we go. Yes, if you think you're looking at something from Egypt, you indeed are. This is an Egyptian stela, S-T-E-L-A-E. It is plaster, it's gesso, it's plaster on wood, and I have to have that appraised at some point. That was a gift from my mother to my dad for their like 5th or 6th wedding anniversary or actually later than that, 7th or 8th wedding anniversary in the late 60s. And it's one of my favorite things. And I also, with that, my mother also got a little statue of Athena, which is not a phylactery, it's a pectoral. It's a little figurine. Maybe I'll show it in another entry. Figurine that goes around, supposed to hang around somebody's priestesses or priests. It would probably be a priestess because it's Athena. It's a woman's figure with her arms crossed that has the head of an owl. Here is a photograph taken of the Mayflower 2, which I'm a nautical freak, so that's one of my favorite things. Here's a smoke ring gun. Here's a collection of old pipes. It's my old pipes. There's a meerschaum of an elephant in there too. And then moving along here, we have this ginormous collection of comic books, most of which I haven't read. These were given to me recently, and my son and I and my daughter, we just organized these, and we're going to sort them. And well, we did sort them. We're gonna read through them all. They're mostly superhero, DC, mostly DC and some Marvel. I've got some Spider-Man, lots of Batman and Superman and stuff. And what else do we have in here? Stereo. I have let's see if it turns on. Nope. Let's see if it'll turn on here. Oh, it's just not turning on at all. This is a thermometer, an old invented by the guy who created the Mona Lisa, and I can't think of his name right now. Leonardo da Vinci. It's a Da Vinci thermometer, which I think is super cool. A little scale. Ancient. Oh, there it goes. Ah, is that not cool? I also have an ancient, I collect odd, weird things. An ancient unused spark plug, and I have not been able to figure out what this is from, but it's got a little like valve here that I don't know if that's an air valve or a whatever, but ancient spark plug. Champion spark plugs, Toledo, Ohio, US pad off. I think that's cool. Little racing track car from my childhood. This is one of the boats that I made. My cat destroyed it a few years ago, and I haven't had a chance to get back to it. But that's radio controlled. It's about 4 feet long, and maybe actually almost 5 feet long when it's all built, all built together. Bowspirit's all fucked up. The masts, the top masts are off of it. It has top masts that go up there, and the sails are kind of, and the rigging are hanging in disarray. But eventually I'll get back to it. Now down below this is all of this stuff on the shelf, all of it, pretty much. This is all my Franklin Expedition research, and I'll talk about the Franklin Expedition in this blog as well. This is it's a big project that I have put aside for the moment because I need stretches of time to work on. But Franklin Expedition was a British expedition to find the Northwest Passage. In 1845, they left England and sailed into the Canadian archipelago, and 129 men and 2 ships, the Erebus and the Terror, everyone died. Over the next 4 or 5 years, everyone died. No one made it out. So have started writing a historical novel about that. This is a flower that my son drew that I think is absolutely exquisite, and I'm going to have it framed and mounted. And I've got this is my bulletin board, I've got little reminders. This is my old friend Liz. Hi Liz, still love you. Haven't talked to her in a long time. And that's a tour of my office. And you can see probably why I get very little work done. Here's the typewriter table with all of the stuff working on the typewriters. But eventually I'll get this room this summer before oh my God, I'm up to 15 minutes. I must stop. You must be bored. I'm going to let you go. Bye.